Hey.
Hey.
Wait. Namaste.
Namaste.
Radhe.
Haribol, Hare Krishna, Har Har Mahadev.
Oh.
So now we're here.
We have Rena.
We have Rena. She's
with
joining
today.
us.
She's on the Hint team. Hey, marketing specialist. And joining us today for the update.
Yeah.
What's
up? So today, right now, we're going to talk about, let's do the astrology update. And she's here and she can ask us questions that maybe the average person might have, or about astrology and stuff like that.
Because I know nothing about this, but I'm interested. I want to learn, so let's do it.
Right. So should we talk about, so first, I drew a picture.
Nice. What is it?
So this is the symbol. This is for Kritika.
Okay.
So I guess we'll show YouTube. We're on YouTube and Facebook all at the same time live. So a lot going on. So Kritika is the nakshatra, or the lunar mansion or star constellation that the moon travels through, right? So these are the different symbols for it. So there's the bow and a quiver. It's Purnavasu. It's late, so it's Purnavasu right now. So this is the bow and a quiver. And this is this is one of the symbols for Purnavasu. Here's the other one. And the animal is a cat. So all the different nakshatras, they have, an animal which represents them. So for this one, the symbol is a cat. So this is the one that I drew. And it's also ruled by Jupiter. And the funny thing is that I didn't really consciously think about that, but this is the color for Jupiter.
Oh, cool. All right.
And I just said to myself, what color is calling to me for this picture? So this is the one that I grabbed, and it happens to be the one that's ruled over by Jupiter. So I thought that was
for Purnavasu. So last night we did the update for today. So now we're doing the update for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right?
For Pushya new moon.
Right.
So that we were telling you guys that it's a very auspicious day to do a lot of things. It's the mid-cycle between the full moons. It's when the sun and the moon are together. So what kind of things would you say it's auspicious to do? Pushya is actually considered good for everything except marriage. Okay, so don't get married today.
Well, tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, sorry, don't get married tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. And then
it's good for everything. It's called the Emperor of Nakshatras.
Okay.
Because the reason is that is a technicality, but with the Panchangam or the almanac system, there's different. Not only the tithi and the nakshatra, but there's other things. There's the yoga, the karana, which are different, measurements between the distance between the sun and the moon, and the day of the week, etc. But when it's a pushya, it cancels out any negative things from everything else.
Okay.
So that's why you can do almost everything. It's just that pushya is it's not good for marriage. That's the one thing. That's
the one thing. So everything is good except for.
Yeah, it's really good for babies.
It's really good.
Right.
A new job.
Yeah. It's really good for dealing with babies, with children.
Business.
It's very happy-go-lucky. And
is it a good business?
Oh, very good. Yeah. Very good.
Very
good.
Very abundant.
Very abundant.
So marriage is off limits. So what about getting engaged? What if someone's planning an engagement? They're just like.
That's actually not bad. That's not so bad from the standpoint of the nakshatra and Pusha. It's related to marriage enough that it's a little bit sticky. Okay. So it's related to marriage enough.
If you could not do it that day, better not.
Yeah. If you want to, that's not. Yeah, it's related enough to marriage that it's a little bit of a sticky point.
And it's starting a relationship tomorrow,
that should be okay.
Okay.
That should be okay. Moderately okay, but
moderately, but not ideal. Not the ideal.
Not ideal.
Yeah, and then also the moon just moved into Cancer right now.
Right at this moment.
It's very emotional.
Yeah.
It's emotional. The sun is in Cancer. Mars is in Cancer,
a lot of
Jupiter
Cancers.
is in Cancer, Venus is in Cancer.
Wow.
So it's busy right now. So Moon in Cancer is going to reflect all these other energies. It's going to activate all these other energies. So for the next, 2.5 days, while the Moon is in Cancer, um, expect a lot of emotional stuff going on. Kind of brace yourself and pamper yourself. Take care of yourself.
Right.
Do things that make you feel good, that make you feel peaceful, that are gonna, little mini vacation. Go
to King Spa?
go to a spa.
Yeah.
King Spa? Have you been to King Spa?
No.
Oh, you gotta go to King Spa.
Is that here in Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Spa Castle, depending on what your vibe
Well, it's
is.
like a day, like you pay for the day?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
I
like a 24-hour. You can
Are
be
you
up to
serious?
24 hours.
How much is
within
it?
that. It's like $30
Really?
most of the
Oh my
times around.
God.
Have you been?
They
I
also
need
have
to go
Groupons
there.
too.
Yeah. If you do a Groupon, it's
I
like $20.
totally need to go there.
But yeah, it's like you just. Have you been to one before?
To a spa, yeah.
No, this is
to
another
any of those
level.
spas. No. I
This
never.
is like the Korean spa. It's like it's not a regular spa.
What do they have?
Everything. They have the hot baths. They have four
They have like
restaurants.
rooms with like crystals, wall to wall crystals.
Yes, like amethyst. They got at least like King Spa. They got amethyst. They got a gold room. They got hot rooms that's like 120 degrees.
Oh my God.
They got cold.
Okay, well that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and they have a bar.
I don't know about you.
I'm just saying, it's a day to relax, and I'm not promoting it. I'm not, I'm not paid
I guess
to
we're
promote
giving
it.
free advertising.
Wherever you are, find a spa. Like, it's a good day to do a spa stuff. Or I was gonna say that sensory deprivation thing where you go and
Oh,
have
the
some
water
salt.
thing.
Yeah, like something like that. If you're near an ocean that's not disgusting, go there, or just go in your pool. Talk to the Florida people. If you're in Jamaica, go to the ocean, go to the beach.
So that brings.
Oh yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, that brings up a question. So all of this applies no matter where you are in the world.
Yeah.
As long as it's tomorrow.
Everywhere in the world, the moon will be in Cancer tomorrow. Right?
Yeah, everywhere in the world, the moon will be in Pushya, and it will be the new moon.
Yeah.
And it's a very strong new moon.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually supposed to be a high pagan holy day tomorrow. The 1st of August is very powerful. The height of summer is like for the worship of the sun god in the European pagan places. And the other thing is that it's going to be the new moon at the exact same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the first day of the month is going to be the new moon. Then the 15th is going to be the full moon. And then the last day of the month is going to be the next new moon. So there's going to be two new moons, and they call it a super new moon because it's going to be it's like how they have a super full moon. It's going to be a super new moon.
Okay.
So what they're saying is that it's a really transformative month, August. They say that it's going to be like no other. You're going to enter the month in one kind of way, and you're going to exit it in another.
Okay.
And it's going to be a major major changes in a lot of people's lives, and most of them for the good in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's one of these like very pivotal times.
So we got
in this year.
We got 3 viewers. If you're watching, say hi. So we know
we
you're
like
there.
Audience participation.
Yeah, we want to talk to you. Talk to us now. If you can. I mean, hopefully you're not doing something where you can't talk. But yeah, we like to converse.
Yeah, we do. We want to.
Oh, we lost someone. I guess they didn't want to talk.
They get shy. We got shy spiritual people mostly.
Oh no! Y'all gotta come out of your shell, And I want to talk. I'm the introvert. So.
Right.
But yeah, this is good. All right. Sorry. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's good.
That's good. Okay. So what else can we expect on tomorrow? Which technically it's already tomorrow in the East Coast.
Right. Yeah,
They
yeah.
should already.
Oh,
be
my
experiencing
cousin
it.
said that all day she's been feeling very like mellow and nostalgic, and just confirming what we're saying, that we're in that realm. We're in that realm where everything's in Cancer. It's exactly, that's what it is, and it's gonna be more intense like that for the next 2 days, for the next 2-3 days, and then through the first half of August. So prepare yourself. Like, there's good in that, there's like, you can relax, you can feel your feelings, you can, if you want a like tight schedule and you want some go, you're probably gonna get frustrated.
Yeah, seriously.
And God forbid, all preventive, you can prevent anything, frustration. What happens when you're frustrated? Sometimes accidents, sometimes stuff like that.
Yeah.
So prevent that by being, in alignment with the energy and doing what the energy is available to do, which is these things that we're talking about. And of course, if you have things that you need to get done, just make sure you take time for yourself, and then you stay in the flow. Female energy pervades right now. Okay. So
bow to the feminine.
Yes, that's what it is. The
Listen to the
goddess.
women in your life. Listen to all the feminine people.
Yeah, Radharani, Guadalupe, whoever you want.
Yeah.
The goddesses. So, what else?
I think that's a good way. We covered a lot of the stuff. I mean, we're kind of like at a standstill. I mean, for myself, I noticed I got moon in Cancer, right?
Yeah,
So this
it's
is just
all on
like,
top of
Oh,
it.
you do?
yeah, I got the moon in
Yeah,
Cancer.
yeah.
Wow.
So, and the moon's gonna be moving right over my natal nakshatra
he's
tomorrow.
tripping out.
Oh, wow. That's
So-
why you feel like.
That's why
I
he's
think you've
Yeah,
been saying it
yeah.
for
The
long.
past, I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I feel off. I feel very emotional.
Got
The
it.
past 2 or 3 days, I've been teary eyed every morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, it's
intense.
been, it's been a lot, just going through all this stuff. But it's been very transformational, and I appreciate that.
And a lot of past like previous things, stuff have been coming up for you, like
Right.
people that like all of a sudden, or like ideas all of a sudden, and it's kind of all culminating, like these connections that you made in the last few months. You connected with your mom,
Right.
stuff like that, and like a lot of intense stuff. But like the last few days, you've been talking about it more, like making the connection,
Right.
putting it together, like it's really, because all of that is on your moon.
Right.
All of
There's
that
everything's
stuff is
sitting
your
on my moon,
Yeah.
so I'm very reflective. It's been very
Right.
reflective lately, and just been trying to look at my life, and also been trying to look at the life from the perspective of other people, and just kind of thinking about stuff. Like, I want to write books about different stuff, and then I'm kind of just trying to analyze maybe the blocks that are causing that, like parts of myself that don't really think I'm worthy of making a book like that. We all have those things, right?
Right.
We all have those things that say, "Oh, well, you can't do it because, this reason or that reason," right? And I've been trying to analyze those things in a
Right.
roundabout way by talking about certain sticking points in my own self.
Right.
So you brought up a good point. I mean, you're being affected differently because your moon is in
Right.
Cancer already.
Right.
So what about
Right.
other moons? So my moon is in
In Scorpio,
Scorpio.
so it's aspecting, so it's not directly on it. So there is a strong effect to anybody that has their moon in a water sign. So like we actually remember we make up the trifecta of water signs.
Yeah, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, all in a row.
order. Yeah, we said in
Your
order.
moon is in
That's so funny.
Pisces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So with
That's
the three,
perfect.
with
Yeah.
the three water signs. So
Okay.
So
and the
we-
water is affected by the moon.
right.
Okay.
Well, and because they're trine, like there's three signs in every element.
Okay.
So there's only three water signs. We're the three
Yeah.
ones. So whenever
Wow.
there is something happening in one water sign, it's aspecting the other water signs. So we're affected by all of that activity in Cancer, and it will bring up the emotional stuff and remind us of the emotional stuff too. But obviously,
but he's gonna feel
with
the
him,
brunt
it's
of
like
It's
hitting
gonna be,
him
like,
right in
really,
the head.
yeah.
It's like this is the third eye chakra is the
Right.
moon. So like his awareness, for us it's an aspect effect,
Right.
But for him it's right layer, like.
And for me, I don't really feel much emotional. My phone is dying.
Oh, it's
20% left. Okay, so for me, I don't feel. I mean, I'm not feeling like heavy emotions right now, which is kind of different, right? Because isn't Scorpio kind of emotional, or is it supposed to be, or is it more of a?
they have intense emotions, right? Like
Okay.
I have Mars in Scorpio, right? So the thing is that it's one of these intense. The Martian, the Scorpio is ruled by Mars, right? So the thing is that what happens is that the emotions that Scorpio feel are more of an intense feeling than, like, say, like a moon and Cancer person would feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say maybe what you would be feeling is brief moments of, like,
Yeah, because normally I don't feel too much emotion unless something
there's a trigger point.
triggers
Yeah,
it.
there's a trigger
Yeah,
point,
and
and
when
then
I feel emotion, I feel it intensely. But otherwise,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not really
Yeah, the emotion you
feeling much
feel is like
emotion.
an intense thing.
Okay.
And this is an interest. I have a question because I got a Scorpio.
A question? What?
I got a question for you. I got a question
Okay.
for you because I have Mars in Scorpio,
Okay.
so I see how that relates to me, right?
Okay.
And so I have a question. We're doing live astrological testing here. No, okay. So here's my question to you.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of planning?
Yes. I have a list. If I could show you my phone right now, I have lists and lists and notes and all these things.
It's a very strategic.
Yes. Very.
It's a very strategic energy. Very, very, like, because
I have charts and like
because
that.
my action, Mars is your action.
Yeah.
Right. So we're doing an astrology lesson right now. Mars is how you act in the world, right? My Mars is in Scorpio, so what I do is I think about things a lot. I strategize. I come up with plans. I think, okay, if this happens, what are they going to do about it? It's very strategic because it has that Martian influence.
But my moon is in Scorpio, so that means I think I plan my feelings. Is that what?
Something like that, a little bit.
Well, do you?
I will say I am studying emotion because I want to be able to have control over.
Right.
Exactly. You try and it's a strategic approach.
Mix Mars, which is martial energy, with emotions. So there's like an aspect of like, okay, I need to control this. I need to figure out how to be on top of this. This is not gonna be on top of me.
I don't like the unbridled thing. Like shoot from the hip. I mean, I will if I had if the inspiration comes and it's like do this and do this.
Right.
Like, I'll do
it's
it,
like a certain military aspect to it. Like self-discipline is like a big deal to you. This kind of thing. Like
I feel guilty in a sense if I don't do what I plan to do or feel the way I want it to feel. I'm just like, I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want to feel like this.
Right. And this is something else that I have Mars, and as I said, so I just want to know if say if somebody does something, is it what I've noticed is if something does something bad to me, I kind of hold on to it a little bit. And it's like I can put it down, but then, like, if I remember it, it's just like, whoa, that was that one time that person. It's like it just happened to me.
Yeah, and that's because of your Mars
is in Scorpio.
Well, is it,
or is it because your Cancers? I mean, I don't know what I'm saying.
Moon and Cancer also has that.
Oh, is it? So that could be what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
I've
For
heard
me,
it.
I do the opposite. I think back on what something happened and I feel the unhappiness, but I'm like, how can I make it so I never feel that again?
Right.
Like, I'm just like, how can I, or if I sense it coming, like the past, I'll cut it off real fast. Nope, done.
I would say that that's like more of a Cancer thing.
Oh,
I
really?
think. No, this what
Oh,
he was
for
talking
the-
about.
oh,
What he
like-
was saying, like just yeah,
Mm.
the protectiveness.
Oh,
You know, the protective shell. Because right, Cancer is moon and Cancer is moon and moon.
right,
You
right.
know, so there's no other planetary influence there. So it's like double emotions with emotions. There's no, you know, whereas, you know, there's other influences that
Right.
may,
Well, hers is Mars and
and
the moon,
the
right.
moon. So it's like, you know, he wants to put it somewhere, you know? Like,
Yours is Jupiter in the moon.
right, Jupiter. So I philosophize my way out of everything.
Okay, I see that. I definitely see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very philosophical.
Yeah, philosophical.
Philosophical.
Philosophical. So her moon is in Pisces, and how do you feel around this?
With this, I'm philosophizing.
Philosophical.
I'm seeing things in a philosophical way. Like that's that's how I'm dealing with it. I am like thinking about the emotional stuff. I also have Saturn in Cancer. So all of this stuff happening in Cancer is on my Saturn. So Saturn in Cancer is like inherently annoyed. It's an annoying place for Cancer, and like I tend to be annoyed a lot. Like I'm an annoyed person, like irritable, like
Hangry.
I get
Hangry
hangry.
much?
Like today, I got hangry. Like
She was like, I don't even want pizza. We were like looking at the pizza. We're like trying to choose our toppings, and just like, I don't want pizza. I just walked away, and we're like, oh.
I was like, oh my god. Oh yeah. Anyway, so stuff like that. So yeah, I can get, you know, and then with all of that on top of on top of my Saturn, like let me see what's right on it. Oh yeah, so Mars is probably well, Mars already went over the direct point of my Saturn, but yeah, I mean it's all right there. It's all right next to my. So you know, it's
You have another person again. Hi.
it's points of irritability and like, well, that's me.
Oh, we got someone says, Malik says, yes, I was definitely feeling those crazy Cancer vibes today. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Cancer has that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I mean, yeah.
Oh.
Lalita, Cynthia, Horacio. Hey, you guys, if you're still there, at least here it looks like you're still on. Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, so now how does this relate to Western? I know you guys aren't into like Western reading, but like I notice when I come across Western Cancers, they're still like super emotional. So how does this relate to them, those who identify as Western Cancers?
Well, there's a certain percentage that will be Cancer according to sidereal or Vedic astrology.
Okay.
There's a certain percentage, and then the other ones, they, you know, I notice certain things like they'll tell the way they describe the signs, the way they describe Virgos in Western astrology is somewhat different than the way they describe them in Vedic astrology.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the nitpickiness.
Yeah,
the
they don't.
judgmentalness.
Yeah, they don't really
They're
talk
not-
about that in Vedic astrology.
They're
Mhm.
not like
It's
that.
not. And the thing is that, to be honest and fair, Leos are kind of more judgmental than
Vedic Leo.
yeah, than Virgos.
Yeah, I'm a Vedic Virgo.
Right, right.
So, I mean, I've been accused of being judgmental, but I think it was a sensitive person.
Right, right.
Someone who just really felt that they were called out for something that they should have
It's
been
just
called
like
out
one person.
for.
It's not like something that happens. to
And
one
the
person.
other thing is
So
that
it's not like a pattern.
Yeah.
It's not like a. Yeah, I mean, always somebody's gonna say something. You know, everybody's gonna. There's always gonna be somebody.
So
Yeah.
let me think about this.
And then the other thing.
Oh.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna say, what sign, if you're Cancer in Western, what would you be in Vedic?
Gemini.
Gemini. Okay. So that, you know what I think that they're confusing is with the Ardras.
Right.
That's
so
very
Ardras
possible
are
because
very
Ardra
emotional,
Nakshatra is a
irritable,
very emotional part of.
angry.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're very emotional part of, means the howler, it means the crier, and that's a part of Gemini, according to Vedic astrology. And so these are people that probably have the moon in Ardra, and so they act in a way that a Western astrologer, oh, this must be a Cancer. You know what I mean? Now, see, Cancer moon people in Vedic astrology are considered to be emotional people as well.
Right.
But it's also considered that it's just
Introvert.
they're more introverted. It's more introverted, and it's more like they have a more in touch. Oh, somebody asked a question?
Yeah, Malik says, what's the topic being discussed? We're talking about the moon, right? The moon in
Right.
Cancer.
We're doing the
update
daily
today. Yeah.
update.
So we're doing the daily update, and we're talking about Cancer because
The moon is in Cancer right now, and the nakshatra, which right now it's Purnavasu, but it's going to move into Pushya tomorrow, so we're kind of giving the advance notice.
Yeah, and we were just saying because it's going to affect, because it's moving into Cancer, right? Like it's going to affect those who have Cancer in their charts, and I mean everyone has it, right? But like in places where affected by water, like the water signs.
Right, they're being affected by this energy.
Yeah. Another thing too is that the sun travels closely with Mercury and Venus. So even if their sun is not in, like if they identify as having the sun in Western, if they're their sun is in Cancer in Western.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cover this screen with my finger. Malik said, also my thoughts. So I definitely felt off this morning, and when I researched, sorry, I'm covering you up, Dougie. When I researched, I saw moon was in Cancer. Neat. Yeah. So we're feeling it. We're getting all types of confirmation.
Yeah.
Right.
What were you saying?
No, I was just saying that sometimes it's the Venus or the Mercury will still be in Cancer, so that will come up in their personality. That's all, even though the sun may not,
Yeah, because we're more than just our sun sign. There's also the rising sign. There's the moon sign, and like for me, example, before I was converted to the truth of Vedic astrology, I before I saw the light and was saved, I thought I was a Libra.
I thought I was a Libra.
But then I saw the light and I realized that I was a Virgo. But the thing is
that you're really a Cancer because the sun sign is
right. The sun sign is only a part of it, and the other thing is that I have two very strong planets in Libra. I have Saturn in Libra, and I have Jupiter in Libra. So some of the aspects of Libra, they said Libra's like this, Libra's like that, I identified with because I had two really massive planets in that sign. So it affected certain parts of me. Like, I am a person who believes in things should be fair and justice and things like that. And that's a very Libran thing. So I do have these planets sitting there. So they do kind of influence aspects of me.
Yeah. That's really cool how that intertwines, and it's not so cut and dry like, oh, your sun is this and that's it.
Well, it's a very simplified, that's the nuances are very important. And that's one of the things that makes it a little bit difficult because we kind of want to move away from the simplification to an extent, because the nuances are what make it special and make it personal. But you have to, I guess you just have to put a little more effort into explaining the nuances.
I think that's why a lot of people think that astrology is BS, because they just think it's that simplified thing, and it's much more complex.
Right.
I mean, I didn't think that astrology was like that simple, but I did kind of was like, oh well, I'll take it with a grain of salt. But then when I started to get into the Vedic, I'm like, oh man, that's like super accurate because of like all the scientific things you guys take into consideration, and all the planets. It's like, wow,
a lot of research based.
Yeah, very research based.
It's based on seeing patterns ongoingly, and we'll have research data to show you guys.
Yeah,
we're working on that. compiling the data.
Cool. Anybody
Cool.
else have any questions before we or you guys
Wrap it up?
Yeah.
What do you think? Anybody? Well, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah,
Glad
thanks for your
you
comments,
were-
Malik.
Yeah.
Nice to be with you this evening, this night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Malik is a good name. That means king.
Nice. Like that name.
Cool.
It means king in what?
Oh, we gotta.
You put a smile.
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, and I think it's the Arabic name for it means
Okay.
king.
I think you're right. I think it is in Arabic. All right. Well, maybe we'll find out from Malik one day.
Right.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, you just. Oh, what do you say? First time tuning in. Loved it. Yeah. Well, we loved having
Awesome.
you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
joining.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
All right,
let's
you
call it a
guys.
day.
See you
and
later.
call it a night.
Radhe Radhe. Namaste.
Namaste. That's cool. Public. I don't. Okay, it says post my timeline, but is it the? Yeah.